I'm Pam, a 30-year-old office worker. Last year, I married Andy, who is the same age as me, and we were enjoying a peaceful, calm life together until about a month ago. The peace ended when Andy's older sister, Amanda, got divorced and moved nearby. Amanda has a 5-year-old son, Mike. On weekends, she often calls Andy and asks him to babysit. While Mike is a sweet and well-mannered boy, Andy and I have no parenting experience. We both work full-time and can't accommodate her requests. We've explained this to Amanda many times, but she just doesn't seem to get it. She always insists, "It's fine, isn't it? Families should help each other." However, she offers no help in return. Amanda conveniently excuses herself by saying, "I have work, so I can't help it." But we have work too, and weekends are our time to recharge. Andy consistently declines her requests, and I appreciate that. But Amanda doesn't give up easily. If she needs help, she could rely on our parents. After all, she moved near us, knowing full well she dislikes them. While we're not heartless, we can't keep giving in. I sometimes think it's okay to help occasionally, but Andy knows Amanda's personality too well. Giving in once would open the door to endless demands. Then one morning, we heard a knock. Amanda had sent Mike to our house alone. Mom said she had to work, so she told me to come here. "Please take care of me today," Mike said cheerfully. We were stunned. "Wait, what?" We said no, Andy exclaimed. Mike looked crestfallen. "Am I a bother?" "No, of course not," I reassured him. "You're welcome here, Mike." Amanda must have known we wouldn't turn Mike away, especially since he's just a child. That day, we adjusted our plans and spent time with him. When Amanda came to pick him up, Andy gave her a piece of his mind, but it didn't stop her from dropping Mike off unannounced again. Another weekend, she left Mike at our doorstep despite us explicitly saying no. This time, we had important plans. Just as we were wondering what to do, my brother Brian arrived, bringing over some pudding he'd promised. When he saw Mike, he smiled warmly. "Who's this little guy?" "I'm Andy's nephew, Mike. I'm 5 years old," Mike announced proudly. "Nice to meet you, Mike. Want some pudding?" To our surprise, Brian and Mike bonded instantly. Brian offered to babysit, which was a huge relief, but we couldn't always rely on him. It wasn't fair to shift Amanda's responsibility onto him. Things escalated when Amanda dropped off Mike while he was visibly sick. "He has a fever," I pointed out. "I have work, so I can't take him to the hospital," Amanda said dismissively. "We have work too. You should take care of him yourself," Andy argued. Amanda ignored us and left. Andy decided to stay home to care for Mike. Later, Brian stopped by during a walk and immediately offered to help. That evening, when Amanda came to pick Mike up, I confronted her. "Mike was sick, and you still left him with us. What were you doing that was more important?" Amanda hesitated. "I was on a date." "So what?" "Your son needed you, and you prioritized a date," I snapped. "If you can't care for Mike, we'll have to talk to Mom and Dad about custody." "You wouldn't dare," she spat. "Watch us," Andy said firmly. The next day, we explained everything to Andy's parents. Shocked and concerned, they immediately stepped in. "Amanda, you've proven you can't handle this. We'll take Mike and care for him ourselves," they declared. "You can't just take him," Amanda protested weakly. "We can, and we will," Andy's mother replied. To everyone's surprise, Amanda didn't fight back. Even Mike expressed that he wanted to live with his grandparents, saying, "I like it there. Grandma makes the best cookies." Now, with Mike in safe hands, Andy and I can finally start rebuilding the peaceful life we once had. Mike, who had been dropped off by Amanda, expressed his wish to stay with his grandparents instead of his mom. "I want to be with Grandpa and Grandma, not Mom," he said. So, Mike moved in with Andy's parents, where he thrived. Over time, Mike became even more polite and energetic in the supportive environment. Meanwhile, Amanda's life took a downward spiral. She lost her job, accumulated debt, and began causing trouble everywhere. Eventually, she was sent far away to work off her debts. Despite these struggles, Mike flourished in his new home, surrounded by love and stability. Brian, after a job transfer, moved closer, much to Mike's delight. "Hey, little dinosaur expert, ready for our next adventure?" Brian asked, and the two became inseparable, bonding over their shared love of dinosaurs. Andy and I were finally able to enjoy the peace we had longed for, with no more disruptions from Amanda's requests. In the end, everything worked out, and we were grateful for the calm we had gained. I'm Pam, a 41-year-old office worker living in the United States. 6 years ago, I married Yua, who is 10 years older than me. Yua, originally from Japan, moved to the US. After his first marriage, he has a daughter, Meg, from his previous marriage. When we married, Meg was a high school student, and I was nervous about becoming a stepmother. Her reassuring words, "I always wanted a mom, so I'm glad you're here," gave me hope, but they turned out to be a trap. At 23, Meg only talks to me when she wants money. "Mom, can I have some money? I'm going out with my friends," she asks. I suggest she get a part-time job. They have jobs. "Why can't I do 1 day a week?" I say. But she insists. "Stop being so cheap. Just give me the money." Yua, who works part-time, disagrees with me. "You don't understand. Meg's been emotionally scarred after her parents' divorce. Let her have some comfort." I feel guilty as a stepmom, so I give in. But this leads to Meg quitting college and dropping out of trade school after just 3 days, and she becomes a spoiled, jobless woman. The situation can't continue like this. Meg's been asking for more and more money. I think we need to teach her about financial responsibility and working hard, I say. But Yua reacts defensively. "Are you trying to treat her like a servant? You've never had kids, so you wouldn't understand." Despite my frustration, Yua refuses to cooperate, and Meg continues her carefree lifestyle. One day, Meg dropped a bombshell: "I want to study abroad." I was taken aback. "Study abroad? How are we supposed to afford this?" "You'll pay, obviously," she said. "Why should I? If you're motivated, you can work and save up for it yourself." She accused me of crushing her dreams, but Yua, sensing an opportunity, offered his help. "I'll talk to Ken. He can help find a great school for her in Japan," he said. With Ken's support, we managed to send Meg abroad. But just a month later, she returned, claiming someone I met was returning to the U.S., so I came back with them. I was furious, but Meg retreated to her room, avoiding further discussion. Yua praised her for coming back. "This family is impossible," I thought, regretting ever sending her abroad. The next day, Meg shocked me again. "Can you buy me a suit for job hunting and pack my lunch every day?" I was thrilled at her newfound motivation and supported her. A few months later, she came to me with the news that she was getting married to a wealthy man, but it turned out she had lied about job hunting. "I used your lunches to woo my fiancé," she admitted. "What about all the lies you told him?" "Oh, he's rich. He won't notice." Soon, I found out she hadn't even invited me to the wedding. I was heartbroken. That's when Ken stepped in. "Sis, leave it to me. I'll handle this at the wedding," he said. Ken exposed all of Meg's lies to her fiancé's family, and the engagement was called off. Finally, I got the divorce I had wanted from Yua. With Ken's help, I started a small shop and found joy in my new life. I even began experimenting with new recipes to appeal to the local community. Life became much brighter, and I was free from the turmoil that had once consumed me. I'm Pam, a 25-year-old professional living in the U.S. Balancing work and personal life can be challenging, but I find joy in the small things. One of my favorite monthly traditions is our family dinner gathering. Even though my younger brother Ken and I live on our own, we always make sure to keep this tradition alive. We plan these dinners well in advance, picking a venue a month ahead to make it feel even more special. Pam, Ken, welcome back. It's so good to see you both. I've been looking forward to tomorrow's dinner. Our mom greeted us. Me too. And this time, it's a buffet. I'm saving my appetite, Ken added. We arrived home the day before the dinner. Even though we live close by, there's something about being at home that makes it special. This time, we were going to a popular, affordable buffet in town. The food wasn't just cheap, it was also high quality. Thanks for booking the reservation, Ken, I said. No problem. Let's enjoy it tomorrow, Ken replied. The next day, we headed to the buffet. The food was just as amazing as the reviews promised, everything from Japanese to Italian cuisine. The dessert selection was abundant too. 4 of us eating all this for $80? What a deal! Ken exclaimed. No wonder it's so popular. I'm definitely adding this place to my list for work events, I said. After our satisfying meal, we chatted over tea and prepared to settle the bill. Since Ken and I both work now, we take turns covering the cost. I grabbed the bill and headed to the counter. Excuse me, I'd like to pay, I said to the cashier. As he turned to face me, I was shocked. Pam, is that you? It was Sean, a junior from my university days. What a surprise! How have you been? I asked. I'm doing great. Just landed a job and working here part-time until I start full-time, he said with a smile. That's great to hear, I replied as I handed him my credit card, feeling proud of how grown-up he looked. But then something strange happened. That's odd. The payment isn't going through, Sean said. Is there an issue with my card? I asked, concerned. No, it seems to be a system error. It's been happening a lot lately. Do you mind waiting a bit while I check with my manager? Sure, no problem, I said, wondering if I should pay in cash but realizing I didn't have enough on hand. I decided to wait and see if they could resolve the issue. Thanks for your patience. It looks like I made a mistake. Sorry about that, Sean said, handing back my card. No worries. Thanks for handling it, I replied with a smile, not thinking much more of it. Little did I know, this was just the beginning of something bigger. A month later, while checking my bank statement, I saw something shocking, a $3,000 charge from a luxury store I'd never shopped at. What's this? I gasped. Ken, look at this. My credit card's been charged fraudulently. Ken took a look at the statement. It looks like a clear case of credit card fraud. Think carefully. Have you ever let anyone else handle your card? The only time I did was at the buffet when I handed it to Sean, I explained, but he's someone I trusted. Ken, being a skilled police officer, immediately started investigating. Soon, he confirmed my suspicion. Sean used your card information to make unauthorized online purchases. We have proof. I wanted to confront Sean directly, so with the help of the restaurant manager, we arranged a meeting. Pam, I don't know what you're talking about, Sean stammered when we confronted him. We have records linking your online shopping to Pam's card, Ken said, flashing his police badge. You're coming with me. Sean finally admitted to the crime, claiming it was a moment of weakness. But it didn't matter. Crime is still crime, Ken said firmly. Sean was arrested, lost his job, and his job offer was rescinded. Thanks to Ken, My $3,000 was refunded. I'm so grateful to have a brother like him. This experience taught me to be more cautious with my card, even when dealing with acquaintances.